Alright everybody, Doug Lane here, Fast Lane Car Care. I'm going to give you a little walkthrough on this 2018 Cadillac AT5. It's a full detail, but I'm going to walk you through the exterior. Right now I'm going to rinse out the fender wells, power washer, blast them off as well as I can. I'm using a 2300 PSI Greenworks electronic power washer. Start at the top down, start at the top of the tires. Want to get any loose brake dust off. Here's my wheel cleaner. I've got Professional Detailing Products Fireball Wheel Cleaner. It's a non-acid based but highly aggressive wheel cleaner. These wheels really aren't that bad, so I could have used something less aggressive, but that's just what I have. We do a lot of dirty cars. So now I'm just scrubbing the tire with the tire brush. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just want to be careful you don't scratch the wheels. Now I got a wheel woolly. I've got 3 different size wheel woolies. But, I like to try to get the barrel of the wheel as well as I can, and then I come back and get the spokes. Um, you know, just repeat the process. Try to get as much of it as you possibly can. Scrub the wheel face, everything. One thing to mention too, you may pick up on it later, but this driveway has a really aggressive angle slope to it, so it makes things kind of difficult in some respects. But that's what you get into in mobile detailing. You may be in gravel, you may be on a hill, you may be out in the middle of a parking lot. You just never really know. So that's one thing that makes mobile detailing more difficult than, say, a fixed location, because there's so many different factors that you have to be able to work around and work with. And here we go. Now we're going to rinse off the wheel cleaner. This wheel cleaner, you do not want to let it dry, especially not on a like an aftermarket painted wheel. You can burn the clear coat finish on those. So if you do get PDP's wheel cleaner, like any other car care product, read the instructions first. Especially when you're buying concentrated formulas, read the instructions and figure out what you need to dilute it down to for your application. So now we're going to hit the time lapse because you're just going to watch me do 3 more wheels. I take that back. Right now I am power washing. I'm rinsing off the floor mats. This vehicle had rubber floor liners. I've found the fastest way to deal with those is just to power wash them off. If you need to, come back and scrub them. I've got some techniques for that. But yeah, basically, I'm just going to blast them off, and then I like to shake them off, get any excess moisture out. Now we're going to hit the time lapse because we're back to doing the tires. Alright, and we're back. Hope you enjoyed that 20x hyper speed time lapse. So what I'm doing now is I'm just dragging my hose around, trying to get everything set up. I'm going to go over and grab my ladder, put it beside the vehicle. Whenever you're carrying around a ladder around a car, make sure you're not bumping into the customer's car or other cars, you know, all that kind of thing. So what we'll do is, I like to start at the top. I like to start at the top and work my way down. I've seen a lot of people, not so much in the professional realm, but a lot of do-it-yourselfers, people like to wash their own car. They get drawn to like where the majority of the dirt and stuff is, which is usually around your lower quarter panels. Oh, I had to take a phone call here. So I'm gonna time lapse through this because I know this slowed me down quite a bit. But anyway, start at the top, work your way down. Super simple. Let gravity do the work. You know, don't spray your quarter panels and rocker panels and stuff, and then come back and do the top because then you're gonna have to rinse that dirt down again. Like again, this vehicle isn't really in bad shape. Um, you know, it's mainly for the protection this client wants. So, you know, like I said, basically just start at the top, work your way down, go around the vehicle. The dilemma here is that we're in direct sunlight and it's actually a pretty warm day for the season, so time is of the essence. You don't want to let the water dry on the paint and cause water spots. You don't want to let the soap cause water spots, anything like that. Alright, so now you can kind of see me in the background. What I'm doing is I'm switching out the wand extension thing for the foam cannon. I don't foam cannon every car. It really just kind of depends. Like right now in Ohio, it's getting a little bit cooler, so the foam cannon makes a little more sense. Um, I found in the summer, especially in direct sunlight, it just dries way too fast unless you have two people. And there's not really a whole lot of advantages to it in most situations other than it just looks kind of cool. So there we are, foam can in the car. That's going to help any like dust particles and stuff that didn't get rinsed off. It's going to help break that stuff down. It also, I found it helps break down the bugs. What I'm using though is Professional Detailing Products Hawaiian Shine Car Wash Soap. It actually has silicone in it as a filler. I know there's a lot of people that don't like that. They're against it. But what it does is basically it's going to make the paint kind of feel and look more like it's been polished, even though it is obviously not been, or at this point it's not been, and it's not going to. This is just a regular detail. Neat thing about it is it doesn't, when it dries out, a lot of soaps will cause soap streaks and marks and stuff like that, and it can be a really big pain to deal with. What this seems to do though is it almost works better when it dries. So I'll go around the car now with the same solution, but obviously on my towel I fold it into fours, and then after a few sections, if it depends on the vehicle, you might do like one panel. Generally, depending on the vehicle, I can get the entire roof done with one towel before it starts to look like it might be a little bit dirty. So what I do is I just work sections. So you can see I got a clay mitt up there. I'm gonna clay mitt the paint. This soap works really well for that. It offers a lot of lubrication. While I'm here, I'm going to do the windshield, see if we can get any bugs off of there for. And, basically same thing. Just going to go around the entire vehicle and do that. And let's hit a time lapse and we'll get back to rinsing it off. Okay, so I just wanted to point out something you might not have picked up on is that towel never went back in the bucket, and neither did that clay mitt. So the towels that are still in there are full of good wash solution. Um, that's one thing I like about the foam cannon. It adds that extra lubrication, so you don't need to keep dipping your towel or your media, whatever you're using, wash mitt, whatever, back into the bucket. Um, so that way you're not reintroducing that dirt onto the paint, especially how I said earlier, I flipped the towel, so I basically got 8 working sides. And again, this vehicle's not super dirty, so I got away with, I believe it was only 1 towel, but sometimes you may need 2, sometimes you may need 3. Just depends on the vehicle and the condition. So now we're rinsing off the vehicle. Same deal, just kind of starting at the top. Um, Due to the hill, I'm trying to push all the water off the front of the car because what it's going to do is it's wanting to, like, basically the hood, the water on the hood is wanting to run back towards the windshield. So I'm going to kind of just rinse this area off first, and then I'll go ahead and get the ladder back out and climb up, start blasting off the roof entirely, the sides, all that stuff. Uh, so again, that's kind of one of the things that I want to talk about, like as far as mobile detailing goes. What works in one situation may not work in other situations. You kind of have to be flexible and really know what you're doing in order to get quality results every time. So yep, that's pretty much that. We'll hit another time lapse and come back when it gets a little more exciting. All right, got a couple of microfiber drying towels, waffle weave. Well, this one is the one I've got in my hand right now is a waffle weave. The other one is it's not quite a waffle weave, but it's I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, what I want to do first is get the glass. What I've realized, it depends on the water quality of wherever you're at, but around here, most people have really hard water, a lot of calcium, and if you let that water dry on the windshield or the windows, you're gonna get like very difficult to remove water spots. So first thing I always do when I'm drying off a vehicle is, get the glass, and get the flat surfaces like your roof, your hood, places that are gonna collect large amounts of water. Sides really aren't as big of a deal because they're kind of gonna, shed the water naturally, I guess, as it sits here in the sun. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm gonna climb up, hit the moon roof, and do the rest of it. Get the big thing with drying the car is you don't have to get the car, completely 100% bone dry. You just want to get the puddles. You just want to get it to where you don't have tons of water up there. If you have, if you dry the vehicle and you've got like wet streaks, that's okay. The majority of scratches or wash marks are actually caused during the drying process rather than the washing process. That's a little known kind of fact, but that's why they make drying agents. In the past, one thing a technique I really enjoy actually is using a spray wax, and just as soon as I get done rinsing the car, I'll just walk around the car and just start misting it with spray wax. Depending on the brand, depending on the weather and all that stuff, that's going to dictate how much you use. But that's not going to work very well for the products that I'm using right now. I'm not brand loyal, you know. Yeah, I mentioned a couple of professional detailing products, PDP products earlier. However, I'm not loyal to them. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I like to use things that I can get readily. You know, in the local area, it sucks when you're almost out of something, or you know, whatever, and you have to either order it and you have to wait, or you know, it's nice to just be able to know that I can just go down the road pretty much no matter where I'm at and get, you know, a spray wax or something that's going to be of good quality. And the thing is, the retail grade products, the stuff that you can get in the parts stores and Walmart and all that, a lot of that stuff is really close to right on par. In some ways, some of it is better than the stuff that some of the big companies are making, or the I guess you could say the professionals are making, right? Because the thing is, the normal consumer that's buying these products has different wants, needs, and desires than the guy that owns a shop that's detailing 15 cars a day every day. You know what I mean? So at that point, you know, on the shop side of things, high volume, they're looking for the lowest cost, right? They're looking for something that's easy to use and it's going to look good, right? It doesn't necessarily have to last a long time because what's the shop care? They're, as soon as it's out the door, you know, most places don't care. And, you know, the retail consumer, they want that longevity. They want something that looks good. So, you know, the quality of products now has really come a long way. So I'm going to wring out some water, get this all nice and dry, and let's just time lapse this or skip ahead or something. All right, so right there I tried to show you what I'm using here. This is Turtle Wax Ice Seal and Shine Spray Sealant. It's a really good product. This is a Griot's Garage Towel. I'm not sure what they call it or consider it. I didn't buy it. I actually worked out a deal with a client that had a ton of Griot stuff. And a bunch of towels. A bunch of these types of towels were included. So just give the, you know, surface a little mist. You can use it on glass. It won't stain your trim. It's a really great product. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I've had a lot of good experiences with it. The only thing I don't like about it is do not let it dry until, you know, so don't spray it on and walk away. Spray it, you know, don't get ahead of yourself. Don't spray, you know, the hood, the fender, and the bumper and think that you're going to work this stuff in before it dries. It sets up really quickly, and you know, it can be kind of finicky when it's super hot because it dries so fast. So if you've got a high paint temperature, you know, you may be better off spraying this on the towel than working it on the paint. But overall, really, really great product. Mist it on, work the area in. You can actually kind of feel it. It'll be kind of almost tacky. Your towel will like really want to stick to the paint surface, and then as you work it back and forth a couple times, it'll just all of a sudden it'll just be really smooth. And that's pretty much how you can tell that, you know, you've done what you need to do. You know, and sometimes, you know, if you get a little bit too much, just flip your towel over to a dry side and kind of buff off any excess. It looks really good. I mean, I can't say this enough. It's readily available. It's easy to get a hold of. The price is really good. I mean, you can do a, you know, several vehicles on one bottle if you're not using too much. And again, like I said, you don't want to use too much. You'll have more problems if you use too much than if you use too little. I promise you that. So again, we're just gonna start at the top and work our way down. All right, so I've grabbed another towel. This is a what I consider a wheel towel. I color code all my towels, so these silver ones, I know it looks the same color as the waffle weave I just used, but it's an entirely different towel. they only get used for wheels, tires, stuff like that. What I'm doing right now, just slapping on some tire shine. I go back and forth, honestly. I've got some gels that I really like, but I've got some sprays that I've used that I really like, so I'm just kind of toying around with what do I really want to, you know, add to the mix, to the arsenal, I guess you could say. So that orange bucket there has all my wheel and tire stuff in it. Right now, this is a silicone-free tire gel. It's a PDP, or I'm sorry, not a gel, it's a spray. It's a PDP product. You know, they're local to me, so when I go up there, it's hard not to walk away with more stuff than what you went for, right? And I buy most of my stuff in gallons or more. So once I get a product, I have to, I got to use it a few times and see, because especially with tires, the type of tire, the age, how well it's maintained, that kind of dictates the best tire shine to use. Sometimes one coat of this stuff looks really, really great, and then it seems like if you do one coat and then let it dry, it's it dulls down after like only 10 minutes. So uh, right there, we got a guest appearance from my client. Um, but yeah, all I'm doing, spraying it on, wiping it off the wheels, because it's a high output sprayer. It's kind of difficult to get your spray on there without getting any runs. So I just just spray it on there. If you get any overspray on anything, you just wipe it up real quick. It cleans up super easy. It's not a big deal. Also, I want to say that I like the tires. I like the spray-on tire shine way more on off-road vehicles, or vehicles that have really aggressive sidewalls with the big lugs and mud tires and stuff like that. It is a pain, total pain to try to get those to look good with just a sponge applicator and a gel. This is a lot faster, even if you do have to kind of wipe up the overspray, or even if you have to do a second coat. It's still a lot easier just to give it a few squirts, maybe even just take that towel and even it out if you get some runs or whatever. But again, I'm not super thrilled with this product that I'm using, but it's not a bad one. I will say that. So like I said, I've just been kind of working, playing. I've got a couple of different ones from them, seeing which one I like best. Okay, can I use one then the other? Can I just do two coats? Just two coats of this look as good as two coats of that? All those kind of little things that the average consumer probably doesn't care about, but me as a professional, I do care about. I like to have the winning combination. I like to know how my products are going to react when stacked on top of each other and all that sort of thing. Alright, so there I am. I'm on the front passenger side. You can see my bottles and stuff laid down. Can't see me, but that's what I'm doing. Same thing as the other wheels. Just want to say, this this is a detail. It's been washed, it's been clayed, it has been it's been spray waxed or sealed, however you want to word it, however you want to say it. It's protected. And now, of course, we've got the wheels and tires dressed, and so now here I am just kind of giving it a final look over there, and I will show you guys a little bit closer view after I get done shaking the crap out of this camera. Alright, there we go. So you can see it's really looking good, nice and shiny. Got the tires looking good, the wheels are looking good. I'll see you guys later.